serious? Are you serious, guys? We got breaking news coming out of Asia, and that is India. India. This is information just came out 2 hours ago. India has sent 50,000 troops, additional troops, to the border with China in a very, very provocative offensive move. Now they have 200,000 troops along the border with China. Something's getting ready to happen. This was an offensive move. Let me tell you about it in just a second. Guys, www.healthwithpaul.com, www.healthwithpaul.com. You know, collagen is so important to all of us, and every decade we lose about 10% of our collagen in our body. And that makes us really, really feel aches and the pains, you know, and just not really energized. And our skin wrinkles, and it just gets bad. Oh, here's the deal. But BioTrust has put together a great formula of 5 different collagens. No, not human collagen. I would never endorse that. No, they took plants, eggs, collagen, and this mixture is awesome. It's tasteless, it's odorless, you'll be ageless. Just 2 scoops in the soup, 1 scoop in the coffee, however you want to do it, in the smoothie, however you want to do it, you will feel wonderful. Just go to www.healthwithpaul.com. That's www.healthwithpaul.com. All right, let me tell you what's going on in India. This is huge, but India has redirected at least 50,000 additional troops to the border with China in a historic shift toward an offensive military posture against the world's second biggest economy. Although the 2 countries battled in the Himalayas back in 1962, India's strategic focus has primarily been on Pakistan since the British left the subcontinent. But with the longtime rivals fighting 3 wars over the disputed region in Kashmir. That's India and Pakistan have fought 3 wars over Kashmir. Yet since the deadliest India-China fighting in decades took place last year, Prime Minister Modi and his administration has sought to ease the tensions with Islamabad and concentrate primarily on Beijing, China. Over the past few months, India has moved troops and fighter jet squadrons to 3 district areas along its border with China. According to 4 people familiar with the matter, all in all, India now has roughly 200,000 troops focused on the border with China. 2 of them said, which is an increase of more than 40% from last year, which was a record. But both the Indian Army and the spokesman for the Prime Minister's office in New Delhi didn't respond to any requests for comments on this strategic move. Whereas previously India's military presence was aimed at blocking Chinese moves, the redeployment will allow Indian commanders more options to attack and seize territory in China if necessary. And in a strategic known as offensive defense, one of the people said that includes a lighter footprint involving more helicopters to airlift soldiers from valley to valley, along with artillery pieces like the M777, the howitzer, built by the BAE Systems. And while it's unclear how many troops China has on the border, India detected that the People's Liberation Army recently moved additional forces from Tibet to its military command, which is responsible for patrolling disputed areas along the Himalayas. China is adding fresh runway buildings, bomb-proof bunkers to house their fighter jets, and new airfields along the disputed border in Tibet. 2 of the people said Beijing also is adding long-range artillery tanks and rocket regiments and twin-engine fighters in the last few months. So the current situation on the border between China and India has generally been stable, and the two sides were negotiating to resolve relevant border issues. But Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Wang Wenbin told a regular press briefing in the Beijing today in response to the question about this troop deployment. In this context, the words deeds and military deployment of relevant military and political leaders should help ease the situation, increase mutual trust between the two sides. Yet India sends 50,000 more troops in an offensive position against China. 200,000. Now remember, guys, China has over 2 billion people, and India has 1.6 billion people. And India, and I've been there twice now, India, though, has 1.6 billion people in a country the size of Texas. So you talk about being crammed in there, they really are. But still, 3.5 billion people between these two nations, that's half the population, almost half the population of the planet. You don't want all those people going to war with each other, but you have to wonder about the great war the Bible talks about, which that's the final battle. Not the war of Gog and Magog. That takes place in the Middle East. But the World War III, the war that is incredible, that's in the book of Revelation, chapter 9, that is never talked about much. And I remember talking to Dr. Irvin Baxter about this, and he said, Paul, this is the forgotten war that's prophesied to come in the Bible. Nobody talks about it. But he said, this is the war where the blood will flow to the horse's bridle. And I think sometimes people don't understand that there is a horrible war coming, and we don't want to ever see it. And we certainly don't want to see it between the two biggest nations in the world in population. Give your life to Jesus Christ. They're talking about wars and rumors of wars today, it looks like. We're living in the end times. And continue to pray for the people down there in Miami as they continue to try to rescue, and the search is going on, of course, for all these missing people in that building that collapsed. Also, by the way, when you talk about that building, you start talking about sinkholes, you start talking about the crustal displacement or planetary expansion. Don't forget, the Mike from Around the World map is over at our Patreon channel. It's in the digital form, so it's perfect. Okay, so you can really see it very clear and clarity. And don't forget, or don't just to remind you, I should say, that map is the worst case scenario. It is one of the models that the government's looking at, but it's a worst case scenario. So don't freak completely out. But we are truly living in perilous times. We really, really are. Give your life to Christ. He's coming soon. Are you serious? Are you serious?